It's the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast with Alex Trataros, John Meleka, and Raisi on the beat. Let's go.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Alex Trataros here with another Knicks episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. And with me, as always, my buddy, my co-host, Power, the man with the plan, the one and only, John Malik. Before we ask John how he's doing, you all know the drill. If you listen to this podcast and you haven't already done so, please make sure to subscribe. We're on all audio listening platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. If you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to give that 5-star rating. And if you listen to us on Apple, please make sure to leave a review or comment. We're also partnered with Minute Media and Fansize, so you can find this podcast on the Daily Knicks or the Jet Press. We also got that YouTube channel, Knicks coming, Jets coming, etc. Period, no one writes out, etc. That shit's wild. Find the page, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. And when you watch a video, hit the like button, leave a comment, add to the conversation. We want to know your thoughts and opinions. We got a great guest on today, and we know there's going to be some division around Donovan Mitchell, how to get him here and all that type of stuff. So you better be watching. We better hear some comments, all right? We better get some comments on this one. And while you're also over at that YouTube channel, we got another podcast, Winning Picks Weekly. John, video producer Greg, and our boy and co-host Chip Murphy. These guys go through every sport possible. If you need to put money down on the line because you like sports gambling, these guys got you covered. And then last and certainly not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you name it. We are there. John, what's going on, bro? How you doing?
Good, man. I'm good. We got the anxiety of the MLB trade deadline. We got the excitement of NFL training camp, and I don't know. Recently, we got the talks have dulled on Donovan Mitchell, so I'm sitting okay right now. I'm sitting okay. The tides are almost turning to baseball season, man. Things are getting a little chippy out. Astros are making moves.
Yeah,
the Yankees are making moves. Things are happening. I'm excited to watch and listen to the Jets and overreact and watch out for contract extensions. And we're all the Hall of Fame game this Thursday, so I'm really hyped about that. And then before you know it, the Knicks are gonna happen. And the Donovan Mitchell thing, I'm glad it stalled. So I'm glad it's not like every 5 minutes or every day someone's calling me like, oh my God, are you anxious? Are you okay? Like, yes, everything's fine. Like, I'm glad the talks have stalled. We're just hanging out. We're just chilling. So I'm in a good spot, man. I'm in a good spot right now. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm with you on the Donovan Mitchell talks. The execs are probably out on vacation, so that's why they're probably not going on it right now. They're probably down in Jamaica, Aruba, wherever. They're just getting their 10 and their swag on. But like I said, we got a wonderful guest with us today, man, and we're gonna get into these Donovan Mitchell conversations. And even talk some Jets at the end of this. We got Alex Benezowitz, Alex B, aka Knicks Central on Twitter, co-host of the Bad Weather Fans podcast. Yo, you guys know Alex's stances already. You know what? He's always getting into that mess on Twitter, always getting into some disagreement argument. But we got him here today. Alex, how you feeling, bro? How you feeling today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on, guys. I mean, listen, people come and don't like me for some reason on Twitter, and I just tell them what I feel, and they don't like the way I say it. I guess I don't know, whatever.
Isn't that the whole point of Twitter? Just say what you feel to the world, and then see what happens. It's like throwing a line out there, like a fishing line, see what you catch.
Exactly.
But yeah,
I tend to, good.
But yeah, people say they don't like you, but yeah, you keep gaining followers every single day. So it's work. It's work. Whatever you're doing, you keep doing you, bro. Keep doing you.
I'm not even trying to do anything. I just tweet my opinions, and that's it. That's all I do. I'm not trying to gain anything. I'm just being me, and that's it. So
that's fine. We have a bone to pick with you anyway, because
all right, let's go.
We disagree about your Donovan Mitchell take. So I mean, we I don't mind if we start there with, sure. Because I mean that's where you get most of your heat. At least most recently, where you're more of a I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you're more of a get it done no matter what kind of guy, right? Am I getting that correct?
I want them to get it done, not no matter what, but like I want to get it done. I want them to get him. I want them to get him now. I don't want them to wait. I don't want them to think that they can get something better later. Stop like waiting and playing this like, hey, we're negotiating by not negotiating game when you're just allowing other teams to put together packages to come in and swoop in and get him. Like, yeah, you have the most assets to offer, but that doesn't mean that other teams can't swoop in. Like if you look at like all these other trades that have happened over the last couple of years, they're just in general. You guys know, you follow the NBA. It's everything surprises. You don't see anything coming. Paul George, did you know he was going to the Clippers? Hell no. Did you know McCollum was going to the Pelicans? Hell no. Like, so just because we're not hearing about it right now doesn't mean that another team isn't like plotting in the background. And I don't mean just Miami. It could be anybody. You have no idea. And that's the risk that the Knicks are taking. And if you want to walk away without Donovan Mitchell, I'll be upset, but you better get rid of Julius Randle then. You better give me a season where I don't have to look at the same damn thing again with just Brunson and Hartenstein running it back. Like, you got to give me something.
We didn't hear about Hartenstein either. That's another one. Yeah, the ones that you hear, unfortunately, end up in some protocol for tampering, as Jalen Brunson and the Knicks are right now. But it's interesting because you and Alex are, I think, on completely different sides of this, right? Where our boy Alex T, he's on the side of it depends, right? That's usually his stance, but especially here, right? We have a cap on the players and the picks. Is there anyone that's off limits for you? From the team, right? We know the usual suspects, right? It's Grimes, Obi, IQ. I mean, we can get to RJ too. He's recently come back up, back in the conversation. And then there's the picks, where I know Alex and I are kind of definitely in agreement here, where once you trade the third Knicks first round pick, then that really stalls you for making any potential deal in the future, because now you can't trade any future picks, thanks to the rule because of the Knicks, right? So we don't want to.
I think it's Caps too, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. We're
same bucket.
Yeah, we're the reason, right? Like, we are the reason why they have these rules, and so we're kind of weary about that. But where are you on the untouchable players, untouchable picks, side of the deal?
Well, my dream amount of picks would be 4 unprotected and 2 protected. Then you're giving up 6. And I wasn't really happy with the draft day trades. Like, you did all this for Jalen Brunson. I mean, the 15th best point guard. I mean, I guess it's okay. It's good. But, it was kind of weird. But I'm like, all right, you got all these picks. Now everybody's telling me on Twitter, that was another one of these arguments that I was always getting, that all these protected picks are so valuable. Well, if they're so valuable, Donovan Mitchell will be a Knick right now. So they're not that valuable. They're just good for insurance to fall back on if we make a trade for Donovan Mitchell. They're good to have in our pocket. Like, all right, well, at least we have something. We're not like completely bare. We might get another young player coming here that we can get lucky on, and the Knicks have proven that they're good at the end of the first round to draft that, that in that spot, late 20s.
Yep.
So 4 unprotected, 2 protected is my dream. I would give up a little more if I had to. It just depends on the situation. It's kind of like the Melo trade, where at the end of the Melo trade, the 25th hour, they're like, well, we don't want to give up Mozgov. Like, okay, Mozgov, throw him in, man. Who fucking cares at this point? Let's get Melo.
Shumpert's another one. Landry Fields. Fields.
Oh my God, Shumper. We could have had Kyle Lowry.
Think about those guys. Yeah, exactly. But you think about those guys that we overrate. We love Shumper, and I think Shumper could have been a borderline all-star and all-NBA, all-defensive player if he didn't hurt his knee twice. That I think really shut him down. But we overrated these young guys back then with Fields and Shumpert and these guys, and what did we get out of it? So if you're going to tell me that what's Quickly ceiling, what's Toppin ceiling, what's Grimes' ceiling, if you don't know, and it's not going to be Donovan Mitchell, then trade him. Get him, go. Like, I would love to keep Obi, and especially if that second deal is legit, where you're going to trade Randle for Westbrook and then buy out Westbrook, kind of a deal. Mm-hmm. Then that's the dream, to get Brunson, Mitchell, Barrett, Obi, and Mitchell Robinson as your starting 5. That's the dream, I think, for every Knicks fan right now. And that would be fun. Like, think about how exciting that is. Think about how much fun that'll be. And that's why it's like, yeah, I love Quickly. Like, Emmanuel Quickly is one of my favorite players on the team, but for Donovan Mitchell, there's levels to this. You know what I mean? There's levels to this. And sure, Quickly can turn out to be a really good player, but if we have a coach like Tibbs, who's 64-year-old stubborn coach that doesn't want to play younger players, then what are we doing holding on to these guys? You know what I mean? They're stuck with this dude for some reason. They want to keep him on the team for some reason. I don't know why. And it's just, like, we run it back and, like, we don't do the Donovan Mitchell trade, Fournier is going to start. Like, everybody's all hyped up about Grimes. Fournier is starting. And you guys know it.
Don't stop this.
And Randall's going to start too. And you guys know it. It's just
the Randall thing.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear it.
The Randall thing. All right, fine. Grimes, if I see Fournier starting over Grimes, I might just take the day off of work and come down and protest. That might draw.
You got the
I
record,
cannot,
Alex. You got the 3-point record over.
Right.
John
That's what they're
Stark.
gonna. And
I
he's
don't
paid.
care.
And he's paid.
And
he's gonna play.
Yeah, he's gonna start.
Look, man, it's either like, oh my God, Fournier is shooting 70% from 3 today. Oh my God, he's shooting 20% from 3. It's nothing like in the middle that's consistent. I could go back to be like, all right, cool. You want to keep him there because I know every single night he's gonna hit 2 out of like 6 shots. Cool. It's not him though. But my thing for like Donovan Mitchell though is that I'm also like intrigued. Like if we did keep these kids, what do they look like going into this season? I get like moving Randle, but that's also where I stand, where it's like, I don't want to move all of them and then be in the position where we have no one to surround Donovan Mitchell either. Cause let's be real. We saw the Melo trade. We saw that we didn't have anybody, and we talk about Shump, right? But outside of Shump, do we really have anybody else besides like a broken down Jason Kidd, Raymond Felton, and all those guys? So that's kind of why I'm like, I get it. Like I'm with you, Alex. Like I hope it doesn't take too long because I don't want another team to come swoop in, but I also don't want to be that team that just gets fleeced and caught with our pants down. So, and I'm also like I said, I'm also excited to see what these kids can do. Like Grimes, I get it, summer league. I'm going to overreact. Like I want to see what he could do during the regular season as a starting shooting guard on this team, not Evan Fournier coming off the bench like he should be, like on another normal team. All right, this isn't the Orlando Magic where we gotta like, all right, guys, we're pushing for that AC, man. All right, we got this. No, I want to see Grimes. I want to see what Quickly can do. Give him some more extensive run. I'm just curious about all these players. Like if you told me that. I think the one thing I could definitely agree with you is like moving off of Julius Randle and seeing Obi Toppin, because I like Obi's game a lot more than Randle's, just being able to playing off ball and not having the ball in his hand and having to constantly see the over dribbling and whatnot.
Right.
Even though there's like I don't know why. I was just chilling out for a walk, and then there's something in me. I'm like, think about the Knicks, and I'm like, am I really getting on that, have like this feeling that Randle can actually surprise us this year? Am I really feeling that right now? And I really like,
I'm getting to you.
You're talking yourself into it.
I think I keep poking Alex enough here where I'm finally getting up to his
chipping away.
Yeah, because I think I've been asking this question. I think it's the perfect time because I want to get your opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, Fournier, Grimes go in the trade. And hopefully we keep IQ, but the starting lineup ends up being Brunson, Mitchell, RJ, Randle, and Mitchell Robinson, right? And then the bench is IQ and Obi, which is perfect, right? Because we know that they have the chemistry, we know that they can ball, and they can run that whole unit, right? Let's jump to the question mark, which would be the starting lineup, which everybody already has a full thesis on, already is convinced in concrete can absolutely not work. It's impossible because Randle all of a sudden is a high usage player that needs the ball. No, he doesn't. Like for the last 5 years, he has to. The Knicks give him the ball with 6 to 8 seconds left on the shot clock in ISO, and they're like, "Oh, I can't believe he shot it.
Fuck it, I'll shoot." Yeah, one of those. Yeah,
yeah, I can't believe it. Oh, he's not creating for other players. He's never had a point guard like Jalen Brunson. I know he's maybe, like you mentioned, not top 10 ranked point guard at the moment, but now he's a top ranked pick and roll point guard. And you're going to talk about our old coach Tibbs. You know what the oldest play in basketball is, and the play that he loves the most? The pick and roll. Like, he wants us to run the pick and roll. Mitch Robinson is going to be great in the pick and roll. I feel like Julius Randle, I know he doesn't use it, but maybe if the point guard is demanding it, maybe he'll run it, or maybe he's going to get open because Mitch is running it. You know what I mean? I don't know. In my opinion, I think they can work. I know it's gotten into my boy Alex is subconscious. So I'm wondering for you, you kind of mentioned it, but is there any way on this planet, or is it concrete all set, that Randle just cannot work in this lineup? Because, dude, like, you told me Mitchell doesn't have to be the best player, or he can't work by himself. RJ can't be the best and work by himself. Randle can't be perfect. Like, they're all working together. They got a point guard and a center. You know what I mean? What am I missing?
Well, I think the only avenue that I'd be okay with Randle is if they get Donovan Mitchell, because then I'm like, all right, at least we got the star here, and now we can wait, and now, maybe we can dump Randle. He has a couple good months and then trade him at the deadline or something. But the whole thing that we keep forgetting is that, and I do too, this is kind of like like we were talking about before, where it's like Randle's part of the family. Like, you know what I mean? Randle was the number one guy from Leon Rose. He's part of that dinner on the Woj pod where he sat down at some Italian restaurant uptown, and it was like,
Oh my God.
what I need is this guy and this and this. And we'll, Worldwide West was at the meeting, and Kenny Payne, and then they sold it to Dolan, and he
Hey, don't
it.
forget Alfred Payton, man.
Alfred Payton was there too. Yes. And that's why Alfred Payton started the whole year. You know what I'm saying? And it's business, man. It's the family. Like you promised them, they probably promised him the whole regular season. The playoffs came, it's like, all right, fine, let's get him out of the lineup. And that blew up. But that's another conversation. But yeah, the only way I'd be okay with Randle is if they get Mitchell, and then I can talk myself into it. Like, all right, let's see what happens here, now. But I got to get rid of that energy, man. And I got to get rid of the guy that Tibbs won't hold accountable. If you're stuck with this coach, if you had a new coach in here, I might be able to be talking to it a little more. Like, all right, well, maybe this new coach, like Sam Cassell, will come in here and can get through to Randle. He respects him as a veteran, et cetera, like that.
Selling out Tibbs for Sam Cassell.
Oh, I'm just giving you an example. That's a guy, man. Cassell's gonna be a good coach, man.
I know, but that hurts, man.
Yeah, but yeah, I know. 94. I get it. That was a tough year. That was a tough one. But you know what? Sam Cassell's done a lot in his career. I'm kind of like, he was a rookie then, and that sucked. But that was 100 years ago at this point. And it's just, I just think that's the kind of guy they need. Somebody who's going to get in their face, not somebody who's going to get in Obi's face, get in Quickly's face, get in McBride's face. But then Randle, you can throw a chair, you can throw a laptop in assistant coach's face, you can do whatever you want. But you're going to play 40 minutes. But Obi, you missed a layup, man. Sit down. Remember that game? I think it was at Dallas when Mitchell Robinson got 2 early fouls and they sat him down and he left the arena. Yeah. You didn't see him again. Like, he was gone. Like, we just brushed that under the rug. Like, I sent out a tweet. I'm like, so we're keeping score at home, and Rokas, the second round pick that everybody's putting in the Hall of Fame, is not showing up because he doesn't want to not sit on the bench in America because of Tibbs. And he sent Mitchell Robinson left the team. But we're going to extend this coach, and everybody got so mad at me. And it was just like, all right, well, how am I wrong? This is what I'm just telling you what happened. Rokas isn't here because he doesn't want to sit on the bench. He wants to play, and then, Mitchell Robinson left the team, literally left the arena because he had 2 quick fouls and was sat down for the rest of the game. It was just insane. So it's just things like that. I don't know how you bring a coach back that does that. And they should have fired him at the deadline or at the All-Star break. But then when he came out of the All-Star break and Sims is coming in the first quarter, we're like, whoa, maybe he got talked to, he got ultimatum. I think there was something there that was behind the scenes that we don't know about. I'm sure you guys remember. All of a sudden, Sims is coming off the bench in the rotation. All these young guys is coming. McBride, we're like, oh, okay. But he was still stuck on Fournier and Randle.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I mean, we mentioned the whole thing about family and doing business and kind of, keeping your promises. But there's also like devaluing, a contract that you signed, not even half a season ago. You know what I mean? You just signed them both. And, Randall's extension doesn't start till now, right? So it hasn't even started yet. So you want to, you can't diminish, we get it. As soon as you drive a car off the lot, it diminishes. We get it. Same thing with a player. But, you can't start driving it into mud. You know what I mean? Within 6 months. Like, you got to keep it rolling for a little bit. And Fournier, too, like him breaking that record. I know it sounds silly, but I mean, he's a bucket. Like if we had a point guard last year, and if Randle was a team player and maybe was halfway what he was when we all loved him to death, you know what I mean? Where you talk about 94 feels like 100 years ago. That feels closer to me than the time that we all loved Julius Randle. Like, honest to God, that feels like a closer time to me. And so I wonder if, taking a step back now, Tibbs, to your point, is not going to play Randle for 40 minutes because now they're going to regress to somewhere in the middle. They're going to jump Obi up.
We hope.
Okay, so let me get your question on this. Let me get what do you think about RJ then, right? So we know that RJ is the only constant here.
Yeah.
Right. So we're hoping about Randle. We hope that the coach gives Obi minutes. We hope that we keep some players in the trade. The one constant I think that we know here is RJ.
Mm-hmm.
So give me your thoughts on RJ Barrett and what he means, to this team next year. First of all, do you think he's going to get the extension? And
yes.
And what do you think his role is on this team? Like, if let's I don't know, Al, try to cast it. Alex, do you want to put Mitchell in the starting rotation for this question, or do you want to do it without Mitchell?
Let's start without Mitchell, and we can do both. We can do with and without.
Without Donovan.
Not Mitchell Robinson.
Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, without Donovan.
That'll be
Mitchell.
confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, without Donovan Mitchell.
Who is Robinson? Nobody calls him Robinson. But yeah, go ahead. So, what was the question? So the question is.
So the question is, what's RJ's role on this team if we just run it back? Because he obviously has to grow, especially if he gets his extension. Now he has the Jalen Brunson. He can't use that as an excuse.
What his role should be is he should be the number one option. Obviously, that should be his role. And Brunson should run the offense and should run it through RJ and then go from there. But what it will be is it's going to be Randle's team. It's going to still be Randle's team because Tibbs is still here. And until I see it change, I just because of this whole family thing, it's like a mafia family with these guys, and it's insane.
But then why don't you think it's Brunson's team?
Because
that's the case.
That's a good point. Because Brunson's part of that. He's part of the whole relation. That's a good point.
$100 million man, dude.
$100 million. He's part of the family. He's the nephew of Leon Rose, pretty much. I get it. No, that's a good point. But like at the same time, I do think Brunson will help Mitchell Robinson. Brunson will help Obi Toppin because those are two guys that we always say, and everybody said, I'm sure you guys have said it too, that they need a point guard to take that next step. Someone who's going to throw that lob to them, somebody who's going to like consistently throw the lob to them. Not like Elfrid Payton. Every now and then it's like off the, going left instead of right, or Ntilikina, something like that. Like somebody who can actually run an offense, which is Brunson. That's why I'm okay with the deal at, once I calm down after the draft day. But, I was just annoyed with all, like, why didn't we just take somebody? You know what I mean? Like you could have done something else, and like, I was also screaming at the deadline to trade Alec Burks. I don't know why they didn't do that. And then what do? They play him at point guard the whole season. It's just insane. Like things like that are just insane to me. Like with the Elfrid Payton stuff with Tibbs, where it's just, these things don't make any sense. He starts him the whole season. Everybody's like, just make him the backup. You don't have to cut him. Just make him the backup. And then start Rose and just like, come on. And then you get to the playoffs and you lose a game and you lose game 3, right? They benched him at the game after game 2, or was it game 3? I don't remember exactly. I don't think he played the last 3 that they lost, right?
Right.
So,
no, he didn't play the last 3 when they lost.
But they benched him in the beginning of game 2 or something like that, and he didn't play like the second. It was something I don't even remember.
No, he played game 2.
He played like 10-15 minutes, something along those lines.
Yeah, and then you didn't see him again. And I think Rose started second. I was at the game. I don't remember. That was crazy. And then you pull him out of the rotation altogether, and then it throws the entire team off. You know what I mean? Like you can't have your starting point guard as a starting point guard all year, and then in the playoffs, all of a sudden you pull the cord completely. Like you still need him out there. Like you could have played him 10-15 minutes, like we said, and just keep him there. But you just, these things don't make sense. And it's just like Obi Toppin was the 8th pick in the draft by this regime, and he can't get on the floor. Like it's just it's mind like, and it's not like Obi comes on the floor like his rookie year where he looked like crap until the playoffs. Like last year he looked good. You know what I mean? He scored 40 points. Like, you know what I mean? I know it was in the season, but and it's just insane. So it's just, I can't trust anything that Tibbs does. I just really can't.
It's tough. No, I totally understand. It's tough, especially after last season, and especially when he started off last season saying, well, we can't keep the same if it's not working. And he had that whole thing, like the rotation's got to change and whatnot. And then the rotation barely changed. No, I totally feel you on that. I think with RJ though, I agree that I think he should, if we don't have Donovan Mitchell, I agree that you got to have the offense run through him so that he can expand his game, because we already know what Julius Randle is. I think Julius Randle is now.
What is he? No, what is he, man? I don't know what he is. Is he the best player ever, the most improved player ever, or the 6th man of the year, as Richard Jefferson likes to say? Or is he the player that we should cut halfway through the season like he was last year? Like, I don't know. What is he?
I think he's a Mack truck who should be used in the pick and roll and be used in the half court properly. Not a point forward, none of this, get him to his spots, let him hit his mid-range jumpers in rhythm, all that type of stuff. If he can hit the 3 that day, sure. Awesome. Go for it. But he's not the guy that I need to be constantly running my offense through, nor should he be initiating the offense. I know that much. And for RJ, since he's like going to his 3rd year, he's still developing, 21, 22. The league is played through wings. Like you need your wing player to be like the star, to be that guy, or to be some sort of contributor. If RJ Barrett could become a Jaylen Brown, that would be phenomenal. You know what I mean? And I think he has that capability in there, but he needs to get the reps in order to get there. With Jalen Brunson getting here, I think he's going to do what he's just be the point guard, man. I don't think he's going to be anything more of like with the mafia connections that we're talking about. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy like all right, Jalen, we need you to score 30 tonight. All you, bud. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be like, look, man, you're going to play your game to help these guys on this team to get better. And we're paying you this money because we want to make sure, one, we secured you and no other team could get you. We wanted to get you from the Mavs. All right. And that's it. And I think it's like, we know you're a good player. We know you're going to elevate everyone else's play on the team. We saw what you could do without Luka Doncic on the Dallas Mavericks. So I think that's what we're going to get coming here. And that whole, I love how, I just want to take a side note. I love how Mark Berman comes out here and just throws like tampering when you're siding with Mark Berman today.
Yeah, he just wanted to be on the good graces. He wanted to have like a positive Knicks tweet. He wrote that article like 3 months ago, and then he was like,
he just pressed send. But shout out to Fred Katz for calling this a while ago and kind of trying to scheme for a really bad second round pick because them tampering charges, they always take your next coming second round pick. But I think we have like the potential Miami 2023 second round pick, so I guess it wouldn't be too bad.
I just don't understand the point of all that. Like, why go to the game and put yourself in that position? If they don't go to that Jazz Mavericks game, all of them show up. Allen Houston, Worldwide West, Julius Randle was there, didn't know, quote unquote. It's just, why are you showing up there? Now you're just costing yourself a pick for absolutely no reason. Everything else can be like, is hearsay. Like, yeah, I mean, he's talking to my dad. So, how can you prove anything? But going to the game, that's evidence. You know what I mean? That's why I tweeted out the video, the Shaggy. It wasn't me. That's the Knicks defense. It wasn't me. I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you're on video, dude. They're at the game. Like, what are you doing? Even the Jazz can pull the tampering charge thing if Donovan Mitchell gets traded to the Knicks because they were at that game. Like, why are you putting yourself in that position? Like, for what? Like, I get it's not a big deal, but it boggles my mind. I don't understand. Like, are you that cocky? If it's a fine, who cares? Dolan can pay whatever fine. Like, who gives a shit about that? But a draft pick, like, why do you want to lose one for no reason?
What do you mean, dude? They were there to support the French Prince, dude. They were there to support
want to catch up with Dennis Smith Jr., right? They just catch up.
They wanted to see Frank in the playoffs, man. See if they should re-get it. There's an offseason coming up.
For sure. They were in the neighborhood, right? Yeah.
Hey, Frank, we still got your 11 over here. If you ever want to come back,
not anymore.
Not anymore. But
it's over now.
That's Derek Harper's 11. Let's be real. That
was Brunson's 11.
Yeah. It's a good number. It's a good point guard number. I think Brunson does definitely lift everything. He's a professional point guard. So, I can't be that upset about it when you step back. All I just know is that guy Yang, that guy that they drafted, better not be a star. That's all I know. They traded away, showed up in the Knicks hat. Everybody booed him like another French guy and booed him off stage. And he was traded like 5 seconds later. He's like, oh my God, thank God. Like, he's just out of here.
We're officially on AJ Griffin watch, I think, in the same vein.
Yeah, anybody Griffin around that
area. Be good. Yeah.
But if Jalen Brunson is a borderline all-star and can give us 40-point games in the playoffs, then we'll be all right. But he didn't. A lot of people overrate him a little bit and they're like, look what he did in the playoffs. I'm like, all right, well, look at the games that he didn't do well. He didn't play. He didn't drop 40 a night. You know what I mean? Like, so. Well, just gotta hope for the best. Now he's on the team, and it is what it is.
So wait, I want to finish up John's question though. So what is?
Sorry, I
so
rambled
what?
Yeah.
So no, it's all good. It's all good. So now, what is your expectations of RJ? Right. RJ, if we have Donovan Mitchell here, how do you see him? Is he essentially then the 1B, or maybe just a 2 to Donovan Mitchell's 1? Is that what we're doing here?
For sure. Then they'll bounce off each other well. I talk about this all the time on Bad Weather Fans with Mike Biseglia, my co-host, and Nets fan, Knicks and Nets podcast, et cetera, my cheap plug. But that when players in the NBA fit, when people say, oh, they don't fit, it's just an excuse for having bad players or players that don't like each other. If you're that talented in the NBA, you can play with anybody. Like, remember when LeBron and Bosh and Wade got together? Like, LeBron and Wade play the same position, and what are we going to do here? And
usage
they're like,
rate. Yeah.
Obviously, these are not. Yeah, there's one ball. Yeah. But like, obviously, LeBron and Wade are a little different than RJ Barrett and Donovan Mitchell. But you see, like the teams that don't fit are guys that don't like each other. Like, oh, Durant and Westbrook don't fit. Yeah, because they don't like each other anymore. Harden didn't fit anymore with Durant and with the Nets because they didn't like each other anymore. Obviously, they can play beautiful basketball if they want to. They did it for like 10 games. So I think that RJ would be the number 2 to Donovan Mitchell, but they'll learn to play together. And then you have that's the dream. Then you have Brunson, who can run the point, and you have Donovan Mitchell. And I get that they're small, but who cares? So is TJ McCollum and Dame Lillard, and they won 50 games a year in Portland out in the hard West. Just get talent on this fucking team. That's all you got to do is get me some talent here, and like real talent, not guys like, well, in a couple of years, you never know. Like, no, it's time to win. RJ Barrett is young and he's about to get paid. I say this all the time on Twitter, and people like don't understand this, that You don't want to waste RJ Barrett's years just because he's young. Why would you do that? Look what the Thunder did to Shai. You know, they had a playoff team and they gutted the fucking roster for picks. Like, oh, we got all these picks. Like, okay, well, Shai got paid, sure, but guess what? He just wasted 3 years of his career, and now he's going to be like 25, whatever age he is now, and it's just like, all right, well, what just happened? We had a good squad here, you know. Then you can develop more by winning, by helping your team win. That's why, you know, guys want to leave organizations when they're bad because they know they have no shot at winning or developing. You know, so you want RJ. I'm not worried about him leaving because obviously he's going to take the rookie extension. Obviously, everybody does that unless you're like Greg Monroe or something. But it's just which that didn't work out. another Knicks free agent bust, right? That didn't get him. That actually worked out in our favor. Yeah, but you know, it's just one of those.
Big Greg Monroe guy. Damn.
Me too. I'm surprised he fell off a cliff like that. That was surprising. That was a sidebar. Sorry.
Yo, playing 2K with when I was on the Bucks, they had Greg Monroe on the Bucks with Giannis. It was like was like easy buckets, easy
Greg
buckets.
Monroe and Andre Drummond was fire in 2K as well. But anyway,
yeah. Back in the day. Yeah, no, it's just I just feel like I forgot where I was going with that, but I just feel like you can with guys, if they're talented, they can fit and they'll be fine. And it just I think that they'll like each other. They're both like they know each other already. Brunson and Donovan Mitchell know each other already. Obi, he seems like the kind of guy everybody can like. Mitchell Robinson is just too high to care about anything. You know what I mean? Like these guys they'll be just happy together. And I think it'll be a fun team. And that even if Tibbs doesn't survive next season, you know, if they're not good, even with the Donovan Mitchell trade, it'll still be fine because they're all 25, 24 years old and 26 years old. I hope that happens.
It'll be a very nice young roster. That'd be awesome. I mean, and I agree with you. It would be it would be Donovan Mitchell and RJ in that order, not Mitchell Robinson. Although, look, man, we keep seeing those threes fly off in the gym.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows, man?
He's been doing that. I mean, he does that in every pregame, which is awesome. I wonder if he's actually going to start taking some threes. It's going to be, I think, kind of funny that him and Hartenstein kind of play different games, right? And honestly, Sims does too. I know Sims and Mitchell Robinson are a little bit more similar. But I call Sims our free safety because he's running, you know, from the paint all the way to half court, running the paint and somehow guarding everyone. You know, not necessarily. Mitch Robinson makes it to the perimeter at least, and then Hartenstein's out here playing high post. Like, do you think that? I mean, I think it's obvious that Mitch Robinson's going to play well with Brunson. But let me ask you this: like, do you think that Mitch Robinson is going to fit with Julius Randle? Because maybe they occupy the same space, right? Because Obi wouldn't occupy the same space as Robinson. He's trying to hit that corner three or kind of slash in. Randle, I feel like, kind of occupies that space. Do you think that'd be an issue?
I think so. Julius Randle and Donovan Mitchell, you're saying? Mitchell Robinson. I'm sorry.
Mitchell Robinson and Julius. That's who he's asking.
Julius. Yeah. Well, I think we saw it, that it could work, but it has to be Julius Randle has to be hitting his three. Like, that's one thing that happened this year, that his three wasn't going down. You know, the year before when he was the All-NBA player, not the sixth man of the year, he was hitting that three. You know, he was really, and I think that can work, like to your point with like Hartenstein. Like, you need somebody who can be outside. Mitch has got the paint, like, but Randle wants his rebounds, and he's gonna want to, you know, and rightfully so, you know, and he can get them, and he's tough. He can get box out. That's one thing about Julius Randle. You can't say he can't rebound, you know. So he's good. He's a good player, and they can play together on paper and on, you know, in a perfect world. But the problem with this is that we're in reality and not in 2K, where it's just that it's over, in my opinion. And it's just he needs to go. And it's just there's something there that he gave up on the team sometime in like, you know, I think fans, and I'm sure you guys remember this, you follow me on Twitter, that I was the one defending Randle up until like December, January. I was like one of the last ones.
You were defending.
I was holding for a while, man. I was holding on for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm finally back. I stepped off for a while, and I think I'm back.
Yeah, and I was also holding on to the team. Like, they'll turn around, they're around 500, but once they drop like 7-8 under, I'm like, all right. And then Randle threw the laptop in the guy's face and the assistant coach's face, and then he had a fan kicked out, I think in Orlando or something. And I was like, all right, enough of this fucking guy. And like, even the thumbs down thing, I didn't really care about. I was annoyed at the time because it ruined RJ's moment of that game winner. Like, the story was about Randle and not RJ, which it was his moment. You know, he ended up getting a walk off on the team that won the Eastern Conference. Like, you know, that's a great point. Instead of that, we're talking about the thumbs down.
They made it about him.
And telling the fans to shut the fuck up. Yeah.
And that's just not, if you're the highest paid player on the team,
right?
You're not allowed to do that, honestly.
And guess what happened the next game? Tibbs started and played in 40 minutes, probably. That's the problem here. There's no structure, like you've dealt with, you guys have probably played on teams or just been in class with a teacher. And it's like, you can't tell one kid to do something and then another kid to do something, or you'll do as I say, not as I do, kind of parenting. Like that doesn't work. Eventually a kid is going to catch on and be like, oh, fuck you, man. Like Quickly's watching Elfrid Payton get torched every game. And he comes in, drops 20 and he's like, oh, you got to sit for 3 games. Like what? Like, what do I have to do? Like, so it's just, that's what doesn't make any sense. That's why I feel like the strings are coming from the top, or like Tibbs is just that stubborn. Like, remember how he was mad after a win, when the kids played and played well, like he was mad, like he was scolding us. You got to watch tape in order to know what's going on. Like, bro, like fuck off, man.
Oh, man. Okay. For my side, I kind of like it. I like that. I don't know. It's like the Bill Belichick way of basketball. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. We can still do better. I don't know.
Only difference is that one coach, sadly, and we're about to get to the team that we love, who this team tortured us, has 6 fucking Super Bowl rings. So like Tibbs has no championship rings. Like that's the difference. So when I think this is the year for Tibbs, like not saying that he's going to take off and be great, but this is like this is the determining factor. Can you adapt? Yeah. Can you adapt? We heard Berman said on our podcast, said on other podcasts where you heard that Tibbs was upset that he didn't play the kids a little bit more. Okay, well, let's see that this season. There's already speculation that Randle should get a reduction in minutes because he doesn't have to do that. I always say, like, watch how the Bucks work Giannis Antetokounmpo. You got to have your best player rested. Last season, you played RJ and Randle because out of necessity, you needed them. You would think that RJ taking another step forward, you could stagger minutes. You can have these guys being the focal point of the offense when each other's off the court. No, we just let them both on the same court, and RJ would get lost out into the corner. We'd have to watch him. Fournier get his shots up. Kemba have to get into it. Right. Randle have to get into it. Everybody. So this year, we have to see some more staggering. We have to see kids getting more minutes. We have to see that's when I'll be like, all right, Tibbs has finally adapted. If we get the same thing and we're watching the same thing over and over again, and it's like we're really grinding for no reason to get wins or just to be competitive, I want to see Giant Brian. I just need to see it.
We're going to get the same Tibbs. You know what I mean? He's not 35. Like, he's going to be the same guy.
The age comes into
He's going to be the same guy. Like, we all have parents that are probably in our 60s at this point, right? They're not changing. Like, you know what I mean? They all have their flaws. We love them. Of course, they're our parents. But you know what? They do some shit that you're like, would you stop this crap? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not going to change at this point. He is who he is. And that's why I thought he needed to go at the end of the year. I don't understand what coach can survive being the 4 seed going down to the 13 seed. And now we got to be like, let's see what happens. Like, no, he sucks. Like, they fell off a cliff. Like, I don't.
But doesn't he suck? I mean, he was coach of the year.
Suck is too far. You're right. Suck.
Yeah, I mean, who was his point guard last year, man? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was supposed to be IQ, who we couldn't even figure it out in the summer league. Like, we're talking about how Grimes summer league doesn't matter because he killed. We told IQ, you want to be the point guard? Try it out in summer league, and he sucked. Like, I know he's not allowed to mention that. I know it's blasphemy, but like that was his starting point guard. That was Alec Burks, like you said, because he had nobody else. Otherwise, it was Randle. You know what I mean?
He could have tried. I mean, but he didn't have to play Burks at point guard the whole. You could have just tried quickly and let's see what happens. We're losing anyway.
I agree.
And quickly showed some stuff in summer league. His shooting was not there, but he showed some stuff in summer league playing point guard. He was able to orchestrate a little bit. It was like, all right, he's taking the step forward. It wasn't like this maestro Chris Paul-esque like summer league where it's like, oh wow, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Even that. No, it wasn't even that. But at least you could say, all right, I can see some development here. We just need some more reps in the regular season. Right. We could do that. We didn't even get that. We got like Quick was struggling. 15 minutes. You're in and out. All right. Yeah. Yep. Burks. 40 minutes.
Are we making the playoffs? Are we making the playoffs, Alex?
If they run it back with what they have now?
Yeah, if we run it back right now, are we making the playoffs?
Play-in team. And
okay, if we get
only
Mitchell,
if RJ takes a step, then that's the only way that could change. A huge step.
And if we get Mitchell, are we a playoff team?
100%. Top 6, easy.
All right.
I don't even know. I don't have to know what the deal is. Easy. Top 5, 16, easy.
I agree.
Because I'm assuming you're keeping RJ, and then you have Brunson and Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
And whatever else you keep, and you're easy to me.
All right. Last thing, I'm glad I remembered this. I want to walk you off the cliff a little bit about the the draft day trades and the protected picks, because even if they're not valuable to trade, which I honestly do think they might still be, but even if they're not, let's go with that.
Right.
They're valuable for the Knicks because everybody wants the Knicks unprotected picks, because historically you look at a graph and the Knicks unprotected picks, that hits good for you, right? So you want that. You want that, for trade for Donovan Mitchell.
That hurts, man.
At least, it's the facts. It's the facts.
Facts of facts.
Though, yeah. So, and if that's
just saying it hurts. A fact can be still hurt, man.
If that's the case, at least we have now the protected picks, to protect ourselves. No pun intended, honestly. But it's like, you know what? We don't have our picks. We still have the in between ones. Plus, we have these, we can watch other teams, who knows what's going to happen. We're gambling on 4 teams. It's like we're playing roulette, we're kind of spread a little bit. I don't know. I think it's positive, honestly, especially if we end up grabbing Donovan Mitchell. But go ahead, Alex. I know you want to start off on the Jets, man. Go ahead.
Oh, look, man. The best thing right now is that we're not only fans of the Knicks, we're also fans of the New York Jets. All 3 of us. Right. I'd say all 4 of us, but Greg lost power and he had to drop. So
shout out Kingston.
Shout out Kingston, New York. Good old Hudson Valley. But Alex, you are also a Jets fan.
Yes.
So, and this is the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. We got to ask you, man. I'm going to start off. How do you feel about Zach Wilson entering year 2? I know you've been a lifelong Jets fan. Does he have that dog in him?
Yeah, he does. I think he does. Well, we know that his wife's friend, his mom's friend, thinks he does. Oh, added at her, I guess. Oh, damn! Should I not say that? But anyway,
they're called the bad weather fans.
Yeah, exactly. Who cares? But listen, respectfully. I mean, but I think he did earn a lot of respect from that, which is crazy to say. But I think people looked at him like, "Who's this punk little kid from BYU?" These, or wherever he went to school. I fucking forgot.
Yeah, I know it's BYU.
For some reason, I was like, "Wait, is that not right?" And I was just like,
"No, it's right. It's 100% right."
Yeah. So like, you look at a kid like that, you're like, "Who is this guy?" But. I think now he got respect from that, which is crazy. And
weird way to get respect in the NFL.
It is, but you know what? Like, oh wow, you look at this kid, like, wow, this kid's got some game. You look at him like, oh, you have a newfound respect for him. He's not some little punk, little rag doll getting tossed around in the field. You know what I mean? Like, so like that is cool. And I like the offensive line. So I think Wilson can take a step. I just want to see him more consistent than those random, like crazy plays. I want to see him more consistent, hit the normal throw, the slant, just get me the sure thing. That's what Uzoma, or he'll be better. He'll help him out with that. And Ruckert is like me as a kid growing up in Long Island. Like, I hope he works out. Jets fan from Long Island. Like that was me. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that I'm rooting for him. And, a lot of people see me on Twitter, Knicks. I was telling Alex this on the DMs before, like, I'm on like Knicks, but like my family's Jets is religion. And I grew up, my dad got season tickets in 1970, the year after, we always called him the Jinx. And he had season tickets from forever, from 70 through the 69 season. So this year after, the 69 Super Bowl, 68 season. So the year after the Super Bowl, he bought season tickets. He had them until about 2013. I went to every game from when I was like 6 years old. So 91 through about 2013. I only missed a game for like my bar mitzvah or like a random game that my dad would want to take friends to, like a Monday nighter. Of course, I missed the Jumbo Elliott comeback play, this game. But like I was in middle school. Yeah. My dad's like, I want to go with my friends a Monday night game. You know what I mean? So I had to miss that one. But it was with my dad and my sister.
Yeah. A Monday night football game for the Jets. My God.
Yeah. One day. What is that? Yeah.
At home.
Yeah. But yeah, listen, I went to every game, section 335, row 2, 3, 4, 5 seats. And every single game, man. Shout out to the guys from Yonkers Sanitation that sat around us. It was like a big family. This guy in front of me was like with his wife, went to every game, called my dad Louis, even though his name is Mitch. He was like, you're Louis. It was like they watched me grow up.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, dude. I love going to Jets games.
And then it just got shitty when they moved to MetLife. Like it's just it wasn't the same vibe. It was different kind of fans. They like kicked out all the real fans and the PSLs, and like we still went and it was cool, but it just had a different feel. But anyway, so that's my background. But yeah, anyway, like I'm just not a big fan of Salah. I think that he's a little iffy. Like last year, I think he's too nice of a guy. I think he's trying to like get liked a little too much by the players. And like, he talks about like getting this guy paid and getting that guy paid. Like, no, man, you're supposed to win some fucking games. Like, you're not this guy's agent. Win a game. Like, and but I do like, and I do think Joe Douglas is a little overrated by fans, but he did crush the Adams trade. He did crush the Darnold trade. So like, we got to see, he's got a long contract. We got to see what happens there. But I did love the draft. They're finally drafting like it's 2022 and not, drafting defensive tackles and like it's just enough of that. You got this Breece Hall. Like I think he's going to be I'm really excited about him. really excited about him.
Well, honestly, you're probably the first person I've heard give pushback on Salah. I'll give you the fact that first year did not win a division game. I hold that against Joe Douglas, especially, right? You want to tell Joe Douglas, he has not won a game in the AFC East. That's egregious. Salah, only the first year has not won. So I'll give you that. But let me push back right away on Salah, because it's not just about getting his players paid, but Quan Alexander just signed with the Jets because of Salah, according to him, in his press conference today during the training camp. And then DJ Reed, who solidified our safeties. Now we can actually play his defense, where we're going to have the 2 linebackers and, 3 DBs, kind of 4 DBs, like the 3 safeties and the 2 corners kind of rolling. Depends on, the specific package on the play. Like, do you think that it's not fair to almost judge him after, his rookie year, and he didn't even have a chance to get his personnel? And plus now he's getting getting big guys, like 2 players who were coveted around the league and honestly chose because of the Jets. I can't even remember, dude. I can't remember the last time players were like, I'm choosing the Jets not for the money, but because I like their personnel or I like their coaches. Like, that to me, I feel like somebody's lying. I feel like I'm missing something.
Well, everybody loves everybody. It's like the draft. Whenever they pick somebody, the camera goes, look at, they're all shaking hands. Then they're showing the arguments like 5 minutes before that. Like, no, I want this guy instead of this one.
But I don't know. I'm used to Demario Davis, not getting signed and cursing out the Jets, or like Keyshawn Johnson writing a book, or like Ryan Fitzpatrick being, I can't believe they didn't offer me. Or
Trumaine Johnson not even caring at the end.
Yeah, or like the kicker, Myers, like, oh my God, this team sucks. How did they not sign me? Andre Roberts,
Wilson,
everybody, Revis,
Sheldon Richardson, Copels, all the list goes
man.
on, man.
Yeah, IK knocking Gino out. Yeah, no, everything. No, I get it. But I was a little emotional last year with Salah. I'm just so tired of the break it down and build it up thing again. They keep doing that, and they don't know what. And this owner doesn't know how to hire coaches, or because he has a say in everything. He doesn't know how to hire GMs or coaches. I mean, we'll see about Douglas. The jury's still out, but I do think that and Rex pushed back on this, and Rex is my guy, man. And I think he got a lot of shit for he got dumped on, and it's because he talked a lot of trash, So, but
that's what we liked about him, though.
Right, you live and die by that. It's kind of like me on Twitter.
It's kind of like Belichick and the Patriots. You're
and he beat him though. He beat him, so it's he beat him in the playoffs.
You're a Jets fan. If you come out, like, how to speak to our hearts. If you're
right, don't kiss our rings. We're not kissing his rings or something. He said,
like from day one, like
Yeah, he knew how to, he made play like a Jet, not a joke. Like, he would have the banners out when they would come out for the starting lineups, and it was like, play like a Jet, and it's just like, it wasn't like a play like a Jet, like kind of thing. It was like for real, it like meant something. Doing the flyboy thing, and it was like, wow, this is like an attitude I'd never seen from this organization. It was 1998, and then it was a couple of years of Herm and Mangini, and that was it. You know what I mean? So that was the first time I felt like, wow, like 98 was my year. That was my special year where, like, wow, this is the team, the 12-4 year with Vinny and all that, and they got the championship game. But like with Rex, I felt like an attitude like, wow, we actually can win. Like 98 was like a flash in the pan. It was like, bang, like, whoa, we're so good, and then it like fell apart. But like. With Rex, it was like, wow, this guy doesn't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? This is like
for 2 seasons, right? You saw it work for 2 seasons. You're like, and they were, and that defense was like, we're gonna shut you up. Like, you're not
master motivator. Yeah.
for sure. I mean, I still remember holding Aaron Rodgers game 1 of, I think it was the 2010 season, to 9 points, 3 field goals, and we lost. It was 9-6, and you're like, what is this? I this defense just went toe to toe with Aaron Rodgers. You're like, oh, we could do anything. I was so confident if we beat the Steelers that we're taking that team down just easy. We had it.
Yeah, you know what it is? I feel like after that Patriots game, they went on such a high to beat
it was such a high. I was on a high.
They came in.
I was walking around like I had no care in the world.
I was actually in Cali visiting friends in San Diego, and we were watching all the games. I was wearing my Jets. I went around and was in San Diego wearing my Jets jersey, just talking trash like to anybody who lived. Nobody cared, But it was just so funny. But it was just. I feel like that week when he's like, no, we're like, we respect Mike Tomlin so much. We respect the Steelers. I'm like, that's when you know. Shit. Like, you lost your edge. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, and then he went down big. And then that fumble by Sanchez that they ran back for a touchdown. And that went down. They went down too much, where it was like they could come back, but they just couldn't tackle Mendenhall. And it was just fuck. It was just like a slow burn, like death.
Dude, You're bringing me down Doug Bryan, and
Yeah.
now that's all that's in my brain. I'm just
Doug
thinking
Bryan.
about Doug Bryan missing kicks, dude.
Oh God.
I think that was for me, that was the flame that like was like, all right, like this is like painful inside. I understand
lot
what
of those,
pain
yeah.
is, because like it was early when I was fighting about, with my friends in school, in your public school, about Chad Pennington and stuff, and Testaverde. That was little kid stuff. But when when Doug Bryan was missing those kicks, like that's when the burn started. But let's get to some happier times, man. Like, do you think and this team is up to something. I mean, it's clear we have, winners on both sides of the ball, whether it's Carl Lawson, whether it's Uzama, whether it's Jordan Whitehead. I mean, Quan Alexander, Laken Tomlinson. I mean, there's winners everywhere. Even George Font, which he's holding in for an extension, but
we're excited about George Font right now. That's where we are as a franchise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. We'll let that
Hey man, we finally have an offensive line, all right, since 2010. Okay,
We used to get excited about Faneca. You know what I mean? We're excited about George Font right now.
I think I honestly I am. I think he's fine. He's fine. Yeah, he had a 75 on PFF, his best year ever, contract year, whatever. But like, what are your expectations besides hopefully winning an AFC East game this year? What are your expectations for the Jets? Do you think they're gonna make the playoffs? Do you think we can be in the hunt? As we always pray to be.
That's all John wants, by the way, is just to have the graphic saying
in the hunt, be in the bubble, in that one bubble.
That's what he wants. That's what he wants.
I'm dying.
Be relevant football in October, right? Like, just give me
October for like around Thanksgiving, even.
Right.
That'd be fantastic. Instead
something. That'd be a dream. Don't start off 0-6. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
What are we asking for here? Yeah, no, I mean, it's just, I think legitimately they're probably a 5 to 7 win team, tops. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because you want to get excited about it, but I think if Sauce
taking the over, man, that's exciting in itself. That's the over, right? 5.5.
Yeah. That's was it 5.5, right? It's 5.5. I think.
Yep.
But listen, if Sauce is legit, which there's all indications that he is. I mean, we got to see him play against real talent and whatever. But like, he checks all the boxes, and he has the swag to boot. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, he's that guy. And then if he's on an island, over there, then that sets up the whole secondary, which I'm not that excited about with Joyner and whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like, that just sets them up like what Rex used to do. Like, all right, Reeves is over here, and then now we can blitz over here, and then they can move things around, and now you can get exciting. But if Saleh has the worst defense in the NFL 2 years in a row, then it's got to go. Like, you're a defensive coach. Like, you can't do that again. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't care if you win 6 games. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's just, I am excited about them because I'll give you some positives. Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson. That's going to be exciting. That's just, just get back, protect the kid. Like, let the kid stand and step into a throw for once, and like keep him healthy. And we don't have to worry about Mike White and Joe Flacco. Like, those are the
that's
worst.
Hall of Famer Mike White to you, sir.
Yeah. And leave
MVP, right?
Joe Flacco. MVP, Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about them, and I it's just I'm just happy that we're drafting high, like wide receivers high. So now we have Elijah Moore going to second year. We have Wilson as a rookie, a top pick, and you got Barrios is back, and like, it's nice to have these like exciting players that can make some moves. I don't care about Corey Davis. He's just a guy, at this point. Sure. But like, just get me some exciting plays. We're not like worried about, maybe Denzel Mims can turn it around. We're not like worried about, like, we have like higher goals, which is exciting. But at the end of the day, like, I don't see them being better than 6-7 wins, tops. And if
you see them winning 5 games, like 5 to 7 games, and they're competitive games, right? Not like this blowout bullshit that we've seen over the past.
Right.
Yeah.
If
we're in the games all the way till the fourth quarter, is that enough to say, all right, I can see this team moving in the right direction, moving forward for next year?
For sure.
Okay. Like the Tampa game last year. Remember, like, that was a good game. We lost. But
we with the defense folded, or defense folded.
That was Tom Brady. Very dumb. It was a very dumb way to lose. But I'm saying,
hey,
we were happy about it though.
We got Antonio Brown to quit, bro. We made Antonio Brown quit.
We did. But honestly, I just have flashbacks from the Darnold situation, where it's like they broke it down for Darnold, and like, you had a good team and you broke it down to try to get Sam Darnold. It's like, all right, I can buy that then. And then, Darnold doesn't work out. And even after, and you remember his rookie year, in December, he was like the top rated quarterback in the NFL for December. And we were like excited getting into his second year. And then they fucking hire Adam Gase. It's just like, what are we doing? So it's just, there's always something when you get to that point where it's been 10 years, 11 years and no playoffs. I'm so tired of just getting blindly excited. And it's just, even the Knicks didn't go 10 years and no playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just, it's they're that bad. And I know 2015.
That's tough. That's a tough phrase.
It's
even
true. The Knicks get shitted on as the worst team in the city. And it's not even close. The Jets are that team. Like, it's not even close at this point. And growing up, like we had from when Parcells took over in 97, we had a stretch where, until whatever year it was when, it all fell apart, 13, 12. It's just with Tebow and all the Tebow thing torpedoed this franchise. That 100%. Like, I remember going to games and with the shirt off. Oh yeah. I just felt like running in the rain with my shirt off. Yeah, exactly. And it was such a fraud. That guy, just trust me. Like it was going to games. That was the most unenjoyable year of going to every game.
I agree. I was with you. I was there, man.
You were there. You understood because it was like half the fans were rooting for Tebow and they weren't even Jet fans, and half the fans were rooting for Sanchez, and half the fans were. And then it was just like insane. It was just Sanchez was throwing to guys off the practice squad by the end of the year, and they're booing him for missing a throw when the guy probably went left when he should have went right. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just
till this day, nothing bothers me more than number 15 green and white jerseys. I'm telling you, I
still see them too, man.
It actually bothers me. I'm
a couple Mets ones too, man. That's just...
I know.
Oh, the Mets. That's right.
If I was a Mets fan, I'd buy a Tebow jersey because that's it, like a double A or whatever you want, single A.
Oh, it was a mess. Yeah, cool. He never got past double A. I think I don't know, but it was funny. It was a college game day. He does the ESPN college game, and somebody put up a sign in the background was like, Tim Tebow hit 230 in double A.
A double A Mets Tebow jersey is fire.
Yeah. I mean, look, props to him. He wants to play. He wants to play sport. Like, good for him. But, it's just funny how, he never wanted to play anything but quarterback. Was so stubborn about quarterback. He would even leave the NFL because he wanted to play quarterback. Now he's trying to come back and try to make a comeback as a tight end with the Jaguars. It's just, you should have just done this 7 years ago. You'd probably still be in the NFL doing something. Be like a Ray Lucas kind of hybrid kind of player.
Hey, man, that one magical season with the Denver Broncos where I still
wasn't
can't.
Even that magical. I mean, he won
they were
in the playoff game. That's fine.
Yeah, it was
Pittsburgh Steelers, bro.
Yeah, I mean, on
a slant that he took the house.
DT, yeah.
R.I.P.
DT, yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
But,
rest in peace.
But I remember watching. I remember that. I remember watching Mark Sanchez go against the Broncos, and I was like, "We're winning," but yet some reason I feel like we're gonna lose this shit.
And that was a Thursday night game, right?
That was a Thursday night game. It was like. And I'm watching this all unfold.
Did they go from Sunday night to Thursday night that week, and then they changed the rule because of that? Like, you can't do that. It was something like crazy. Like
it was something really weird. Where it was supposed to be earlier that week, and then we got on Thursday, and then I'm waiting to watch this game, and it's like, oh my god, we are losing in just epic, colossal. It's like Tebow's just coming out here and whooping our ass in the fourth quarter. What is happening?
Yeah, that was a mess. And those teams are so overrated because it was just like they would be running every play, throw 7 passes, but the last 2 at the end of the game was a touchdown pass. And it was like, oh, Tebow time. It's just like, what about the defense? Like, this poor defense getting carried off the field, like Kellen Winslow and the kind of thing. It's just
that man's adrenaline was legit off the chain in the fourth quarter. I don't like he couldn't throw a perfect pass to save his life for 3 quarters. Fourth quarter comes around, it's like, yo, that thing is straight as an arrow.
That playoff game, that game-winning throw.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you want to talk about, like, everyone's like, oh, Peyton Manning threw ducks. That dude was throwing ducks for 3 quarters.
It's true. And, that was back when everybody liked Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless when they had that Tebow thing going on. You know what I mean? And then when he won that playoff game, seeing Stephen A. Smith the next day on TV, that was hilarious. Like, that's when it was fun. And now it's like over the top kind of nonsense.
They'll be back. That's my tinfoil hat. There's going to be a Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless reunion at some point where they're going to
get fired.
Make it on some show. It's going to be like on Spotify exclusive, some nonsense.
Well, like it's been 30 years.
Yeah,
ESPN's finally bringing it back.
Yeah. Tebow's going to come out as a guest or something.
It's going to be something about the Cowboys and LeBron. When something about Bronny.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah, that would come. But my last pushback on you.
Yeah.
Is I'll be at the Jets Green Bay game in late October, and the Jets will still be around. They'll still be in it because, dude, for the first time ever, it feels like suspensions are working in our favor, right?
Beat the Browns. Beat the Browns.
Better beat the Browns week 2. And we can't lose to the Steelers, man. We can't lose to the Steelers with no quarterback.
Pickett.
Rudolph, whoever you want to be there. We can't lose. So if we're 2 out of 4 with the Bengals and the Ravens. Like we finished the whole North.
Give me some excitement. 2-4 is exciting. No, yeah, that's it.
That's exciting. Then maybe we win an AFC East game. You know what I'm saying? 2-2 in the first 4. Maybe win a couple AFC East games. I'm telling you, man. I'll be at the Patriots game. The Jets, of course. I can't miss that.
Yeah.
It's like that's like a legit. If you're a Jets fan, I feel like that's a legit like religious experience every single
Jets
year.
Patriots. Yeah,
we haven't
for
beat
sure.
them.
I don't think I can do it,
season,
man. I don't think I can do it until
Peters.
the Jets are actually winning games because my heart will be in my throat. I might die at a game because
You know
I'll
how many-
just be stressed.
I die at every game and resurrect every like the Zach Wilson 4 interceptions in the Patriots.
Oh yeah,
game.
John went to London.
Oh, you
to watch.
did?
Yeah, I went to
Jeez,
London
man.
for that game. Though the first half of that game, I honestly thought about a lot of things, man.
Why did I do
I
this?
like to repeat them. I don't like to go back there. But the first half, I was like, what am I doing with my whole life right now? Like I contemplated everything.
That's so funny. I almost went to the Chargers playoff game when Sean Green was running over everybody, and then when I almost did that. Me and my friends were like,
is that Eric Barton?
What? What'd you
Is that
say?
the Eric Barton game we're talking about?
No, the one they won when they went to the championship game. Like
Oh,
and then they lost to the Colts that year, right? That was the first year, the
Yeah,
first
that was
Rex
09.
year.
Yeah,
And then, so I almost went to that game because I have friends from college that moved to San Diego, 2 of them. So like I had a place to stay, and I'm like, And then I'm like, and I was like, you know what? If I fly all the way over there and they lose and they get stomped out, I'm like, this is gonna be so stupid. I'm watching the game, I'm like, fuck, like this would have been the greatest thing ever. But whatever, it was great. I went to another away game once, Ravens, the Al Groh year in that Week 17 debacle. They went up. They went up like 14-0. That was the one that they won the Super Bowl. I think the Ravens. My cousin lives in Baltimore, and like we got us tickets. And the whole opening, the starting lineup's like #1 defense, the greatest defense, and then the Jets went up, bing, bing, 14-0. I'm like, yeah, #1 defense, and then that was the end of the game. And the Ravens just poured it on after that. It was crazy, but it's a lot of fun going to games, man. I love football. It's so much more fun in person.
We're so back. We're so back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's the best sport to go to by far.
Well, Alex, all I can say is thank you for hopping onto this podcast and giving us your time to talk to you about the Knicks, talk about the Jets. So please let our listeners know where they can find you.
And tell us, are we getting a Subway Series?
We got to see if the Yankees can make it, man. That's what we got to see.
Wow.
Yankees have been to the World Series, man, in 2009. That's
All right, just get
2015
JD
when we all
Martinez. Get JD Martinez.
That would be great. Maybe they got him already. I don't know.
You're
But
gonna need him. Not yet.
well, listen, DeGrom's back, and let's go, man. Let's see what happens. Like it's exciting, you know.
Do you want anything done? I know we were at the end, but do you want anything done for the Mets?
JD, like Soto, obviously, but JD Martinez.
You're not gonna get
Soto. No.
If Soto was on any other team except for the Nationals, he would have been a Met.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Right. You trade Alvarez, the catcher. You trade the whole entire, Binghamton or Syracuse team. Who cares?
Yeah.
Get him in here.
Yeah. But
trade McNeil. Who cares? Just trade some guys and just
maybe
get him in
Contreras.
Here. Contreras would be okay, but McCann's coming back. I feel like they're going to sneak him back into the lineup and be like, we're okay. Maybe they want to call it Alvarez. It's all right, man. Whatever. I'm here. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Alex B or at Nick Central on Twitter, and also Bad Weather Fans podcast available everywhere. All podcast apps and YouTube. My co-host Mike Paseglia used to work at CBS Sports Radio and WFAN. He's a diehard Nets fan. He does a podcast with Evan Roberts, a Brooklyn's basketball podcast as well. But he's a Nets fan. I'm a Knicks fan, and that's the dynamic of the whole show. It's we go back and forth, and we give each other see each other's perspectives, and it's made me actually respect Nets fans, which is kind of crazy. So
yeah,
there are
go fight with them, guys. Go fight with them. They're the ones with the hot takes.
Yeah.
When we trade everything for Mitchell and everyone's freaking out, this guy's gonna be hyped. So
Oh my God. Well, thank you, Alex, for coming on the pod. Really appreciate the work that you do. And listeners, make sure to go check out Alex's pod. Awesome banter between him and Mike. Man, do they go at it. I remember where you guys first had it was like a first 30-minute clip that was on Twitter. You guys you were just tearing Mike and doing each other. Yeah, you guys
were defending RJ. He got me mad because he said RJ wasn't going to be a star, or I was saying he was a star, and it just got me mad. And I had like a couple glasses of wine before I went into the podcast, so it was unhinged going into it. It's just we started arguing. That was a bad one. We had a couple of good guests like Tracy McGrady, Chris Childs, Kerry Kittles, Richard Jefferson. So we had a couple of good guests on, and we have some coming down the road, hopefully. So yeah, we continue to grow. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah,
man.
you guys are evolving, man. It's the odd couple on this podcast at this point between you and Mike. It's really changed from where the first inception. So
Yeah,
make sure to go
exactly.
check. Make sure to go check out Alex and Mike over at Bad Weather Fans. And for all of our listeners out there, thank you for tuning in for the Knicks episode of the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. You know what to do. Please make sure to subscribe to this podcast. We're on all audio listening platforms. Please make sure to give us that 5-star rating. Make sure to leave a comment if you listen to us on Apple. Go find that YouTube page. Make sure to subscribe. Hit that like button when you watch a video. And make sure to leave a comment, add to the conversation, especially this video. Look, it was a lot of great conversation today. Make sure to tell us what you thought of it. And make sure to check out Winning Picks Weekly, the other podcast over at the YouTube channel. You can go find John, video producer Greg, our guy and co-host Chip Murphy. These guys give out all their takes on where to place your bets if you love sports gambling. And then make sure to follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We're there. Thank you once again for tuning in for the next episode of the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. We out.
Let's go Knicks and let's go Jets. And let's go for this 175K parlay right now. Benintendi better get a double, bro. I'm going to go nuts if Benintendi doesn't get a double right now.